This is a piece of antique embroidery. It's somebody's table runner or dressing table mat with the most beautiful hand stitched cross stitch, I think, tiny cross stitch, and I added to it. I had an idea. Let's put it out. I'm working with one hand here, so I hope you can see. I had an idea to put things on it, embroider things on it as if it was a dressing table mat, and this was supposed to be a fan just lying on the dressing table. It didn't quite work out like that, and I got a bit despondent and I put it away, so I've never finished it. I need to take this off and rethink, but anyway. And this is it's intended to be a wall hanging. It's a vintage blanket, about 100 years old, on which I have embroidered a beach scene, and there's space in the middle here for something to go, and I'll show you. It's part of a series that I have never finished. Show you another one. The whole series is called Picnic at the Beach, and printed onto tea bags is an old family photo. This little boy here is actually my father, who died 7 years ago now, aged 93. So this is from the 1920s, and they're having a picnic at the beach, and I printed it onto tea bags with vintage tea bag tags and embroidered beachy, seasidey things. And I found when I was doing these swirls that the blanket sort of stretched and the swirls are in relief, like those seashells that you find at the beach, and I quite like that. Again, I'm not sure if that's finished or if I need to add more. Some of my favourite bits are these. And again, this is another one from the same series. Photographs or pictures taken on the same day. Again, printed on tea bags. This is a felted piece. It's a tree and a landscape. I dyed the wool and felted the background and then embroidered on top, and again I've not finished it. There's a trend here. This one. This actually is not my work. This is called Flo's Belt. Flo was a next door neighbour of mine many years ago, and just by sheer chance I happened to move next door to a woman who was a superb seamstress and extremely talented with a needle and thread, and she made all her own clothes. She copied Vogue patterns, and she would scour magazines for what Chanel was doing and reproduce, including making hats. She did everything. And this is a belt that she made and gave to me, and it's so old now it started falling apart, and I decided that it ought to be put behind glass in a frame. I got as far as mounting it, but it's not been framed. What treasure is this? Oh yes, I remember this one. This is actually a plastic doily that has been crocheted into a hat, a doll's hat or a decorative hat, and the crochet work was done by my grandmother, and I decided that I kept it for 60 years, that I ought to display it. So all of these things here remind me of my grandmother's house, and the plan was to frame it with a frame that had a big heavy door so that you could open the door and see what's inside, but most of the time you would keep the door closed, which very much reminded me of my granny's house. Again, not got any further than mounting it. Steve's shirt front. This is my husband's shirt front. Now, he never wore it with all this embroidery on. He spilled wine on the front of his dress shirt, and it was put away because I couldn't get the stain out, and he obviously couldn't wear it again. And it was washed several times, and it's all just gone very yellow now. So I then decided I would embroider over the entire shirt and give it to my daughter as something that she could wear. Well, I only got this far done, and the rest of the shirt languished. And recently I decided, okay, the rest of the shirt can go. I cut this bit off, and again, the idea was I was going to frame this. And this one is very personal, and it's not finished. I can't explain this one. I will finish it at some point. This is what's commonly known as an inchie, or a series of inches, and this will become, without this bit, this will become a journal cover, but it's little 1-inch squares of felt, hand felted, hand dyed, that has been embroidered and sewn by hand. And here's some more. And more. And these ones are called twinchies because they are 2-inch squares embroidered by hand, and this will also make a journal cover. And more inches. I think that'd be a nice journal